What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we'll be taking a look at a Titan Strand build that I recently stumbled upon and have found to be quite impressive and surprisingly very viable within any game type or difficulty. This build takes the protective features of the Titan barricade and it twists it, manipulates it, and weaponizes it into a weapon of mass destruction. This build starts and ends with the incredible and unique exotic synergy of the Khepri's horn, along with the Drendgr's Lash strand aspect. When these two are together, some truly magical things happen. Khepri's horn provides the intrinsic trait called Solar Rampart. When casting your barricade, a solar wave will be emitted that travels 18.5 meters. That's 60 feet, y'all. Any enemy caught within this wave will take a substantial amount of solar damage. Once the flame reaches 18.5 meters, it comes back, and any enemy that is hit when the wave is coming back will take 60 points of scorch damage that will get applied over 3 seconds. This scorch will be applied even when not running a solar build, but be warned, the path of this solar flame is very linear and rather narrow, so you might need to work on your placement accuracy. Khepri's horn provides one additional benefit. When defeating enemies with solar damage, you'll receive 25% class ability energy instantly. This will be triggered by solar weapon kills or kills with the solar flame that your barricade projects, or even the scorch. What's great about this combination is that Drendgr's Lash will simultaneously project a strand wave when you cast your barricade, and this wave will damage and suspend enemies. So that's 2 applications of damage that your enemies will take just by placing your barricade. Plus, we get the scorch damage, and the enemies will be suspended. And even better, once they're dead, they create a tangle. It really makes it hard on most any enemy to stay alive after such a brutal onslaught. Now, before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's address the elephant in the room. Bungie will be making several adjustments to tweak the performance of several strand abilities throughout Season 22, and taking all of the changes into account, this build will see far more improvements than it will blemishes. The biggest drawback that this build will endure will be the duration of suspensions, as these are getting reduced down to 5 seconds on non-champion enemies and 3 seconds on champions. Thread of continuity will still be able to increase the duration of suspensions, but to a much smaller degree, only providing 2 additional seconds with non-champion enemies and only 1 second with champions. But there are other strand attributes that are seeing significant improvements, like the amount of damage that threadlings will do. This is getting increased by 30% in PvE. The cooldown on tangle creations is being reduced by 3 seconds, and the effects of sever are being increased and will now reduce enemies' outgoing damage by 40% instead of 30%. There's also some changes being made to strand fragments. Thread of continuity and thread of generation will both provide less energy, but thread of wisdom will now get triggered on non-precision kills, which means we can generate orbs when defeating suspended enemies, no matter how those enemies are defeated. And since we're also using thread of warding, whenever we cast our barricade, defeat a suspended enemy, and collect that orb, we'll receive woven mail, which is going to provide us with a 60% reduction in damage, which will last as long as 10 seconds. Thanks to some key choices in our armor selection and how they synergize with Khepri's horn and our strand subclass, we'll be able to regenerate ability energy remarkably fast, which will in turn allow us to activate our barricades continuously. In addition to the orbs that we'll generate thanks to the thread of wisdom, we'll also generate orbs thanks to siphon mods and the Reaper mod, so we will always have woven mail. Those extra orbs will be crucial towards providing us with armor charges that we'll need to kickstart utility kickstart. This will provide us with an instant surge of class ability energy whenever we cast our barricade, as long as we have at least 3 armor charges active. With the use of stacks on stacks and charged up, we can increase how many armor charges that we get at once and how many we can keep active. The most class ability energy that we can get in return from utility kickstart start is just short of 50%, but considering that we'll also get 25% off of each solar kill, plus we'll receive bonus energy thanks to the use of bolstering detonation and focusing strike. Between these different sources, we should always have our barricade ready to activate. We'll be able to keep every enemy we are engaged with completely suspended and scorched, and with an abundance of orbs lying around everywhere, we'll have plenty of woven mail to keep us nice and safe. While it's not a requirement by any means to run solar weapons with this build, I have found it to be immensely more beneficial, just so we can make sure that we're getting the extra 25% class ability energy. Solar weapons with incandescent will really do well with this build, but to take it a step further, solar weapons that apply scorch or ignitions, such as the Prometheus Lens, 1000 Voices, Skyburner's Oath, the Jotun, or Tommy's Matchbook would all be fantastic options, as they all play right into the synergy that we have created between Khepri's Horn and Drendgr's Lash. Strand weapons with the Hatchlings perk will be a strong choice, since Threadlings will be getting an increase in damage by 30%. The Final Warning or Quicksilver Storm will be perfect exotic choices. The Navigator is another great option, since you can keep your teammates safe and cozy with woven mail. At the end of the day though, your choice in weapons won't be nearly as impactful as that barricade with its fiery suspensions. So if you're in need of a strong and reliable Titan build for Grandmasters, raids, dungeons, lost sectors, or anything else that Bungie throws at you, then this Strand Berserker build is certainly the build for you. Even though we haven't seen what next season's artifact is going to provide, I have a really good feeling about this build going into Season 22. So I highly recommend, if you haven't given it a try yet with the Khepri's Horn and Drendgr's Lash, then you need to do so now, because I guarantee you're going to be in love with this build. I know that we've been a little touch and go with some of the armor mods and class tree choices with this build, so be sure to check out the Destiny item manager link in the description below so that you can easily copy and use this build for yourself. To which I wish you all the best of luck throughout the rest of this season, throughout Season 22 and beyond. Thank you as always for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit the like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.